The EU gets a new military intervention force. The multinational association with up to 5,000 soldiers is part of a new security policy concept that the foreign and defense ministers of the 27 member states decided in Brussels. It lays down what skills the EU must have in the future when it comes to managing conflict situations. The new force should be operational by 2025 at the latest. German Defense Minister Christine Lambrecht offered the EU partners that Germany would then provide the core of the new task force. It is important to send a clear signal that you stand up for each other, said the politician in Brussels. Lambrecht described the planned intervention force as the military core of the concept, which is officially called the strategic compass. It would also be conceivable that the troop would start earlier than in 3 years. However, this is considered unlikely. The first drafts of the German-initiated compass existed long before Russia attacked Ukraine. According to diplomats, the plans have now been revised. The version that has now been adopted makes it clearer that the EU must also deal with nuclear threats. It is also stated that the mobility of the European armed forces urgently needs to be improved. On the other hand, a sentence intended to enable cooperation with Moscow in selected subject areas was deleted without replacement. When we started work, we could not imagine that the situation would be so bad at the moment of acceptance, said EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell. One must now think about the European ability to deal with challenges such as war. In addition to ground troops, the new force should also include air and naval forces as required. It's about having different modules that can be combined with one another. Borrell explained at the end of last year already. Different deployment scenarios could be, for example, intervening in an armed conflict, evacuating people, or securing an airport. Discussions about the establishment of such an intervention force have been going on in the EU for a long time. They were fueled by the military dependency on the United States during the evacuation mission in Afghanistan last summer, although the EU did not get out some cats and dogs. After that, Germany, together with other EU countries, presented a proposal for setting up an intervention force. They intended to further develop the existing EU battle groups into powerful crisis response forces that could be deployed at short notice. To this end, space and cyber capabilities, as well as special forces and strategic air transport capacities, are to be provided. And this idea is now accepted. The new force should therefore consist of substantially modified EU battle groups and other armed forces of the member states. The previous concept envisages that 2 units, each with a core of around 1,500 soldiers, are constantly available and are made available by different EU countries every 6 months. Recently, there had always been problems getting enough troops together. The EU forces have never been deployed so far. The aim is also to make military action in the EU context more flexible and less complicated. For example, the use of Article 44 of the EU Treaty, which has never been used before, should be made easier. Coalitions of the willing could be formed for military operation. According to Borrell, there will also be EU military maneuvers for the first time. The EU's capabilities in the field of armed forces command are also to be strengthened. However, Latvia's Foreign Minister Edgars Rinkēvičs warned against resting on the laurels of the new concept. The compass gives the EU a toolbox to become a real geopolitical defense and security actor together with NATO. But this is only the beginning of the journey, he said. A lot depends on how successful you support Ukraine against Russia. Borrell emphasized on Monday evening that it would be particularly important to demand more money from European taxpayers for security. We are in danger, said the Spaniard. You have to be aware of that and act accordingly. The Ukraine war is a kind of wake-up call. Yeah, and I say it's a wake-up call for all of us, definitely. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.